G'day guys, thank you and welcome to rslactive's yoga, veteran yoga. Today we're here in Heathridge at the new location for the next few weeks, and also welcome to our online viewers who couldn't make today's session ready for the playback. Okay, so I'm Andy and I'll be your guide today for the practice. So thanks for joining me for this next 60 minutes to be able to guide you through a yoga practice. Now, hands up who's done yoga before or heard about it. Okay, so awesome, no worries. And so with the veteran yoga, it comes with a few different things. Most of the guys might have some sort of injury or be dealing with some mental health stuff as well. And that's all cool because what we do, our style of yoga is more trauma informed. And then it's also at a slower pace. So yoga is all about being able to connect breath to the body, and then it's also invitational. So whatever I say in terms of going into postures today, if it's not for you at this particular moment, that's absolutely cool because it's a choice for you whether to take and do the move or not. But if you do choose to do so as well, we've got the blocks here, if you can see them in front of you, which will also enable some modifications that I can provide. All right, so what I offer in terms of moves are only merely suggestions. You can choose to do them or not, and that's also your choice, which is absolutely cool in yoga. And then I'm also going to be taking it slow, so then that we could go through some of the moves today and go through a whole flow, so that it works within your ability and range of motion. And speaking about that, please, if you find yourself in pain, that is no good. Yoga is not about being in pain. Some mild discomfort based on what your range of mobility is okay, because we're teaching our body how to be connected again through the breath. All right, so if you feel yourself in pain, back off, or let me know and I'll provide some modifications. Now, if there's certain moves that I say, you know, this is home base, you can always revert to those moves, or if you feel lost, or if you feel that I may be going a bit fast, we could always meet from that home base and then we'll pick up from where we left. Okay, so no man's left behind, or woman, right? So when I say man, I mean man or woman in this PC world. But yeah, so no man's left behind. So if you do feel like you're lagging behind, from that home position, we can pick up together, okay? All right, so today's session is going to be 45 to 50 minutes of breath-based hatha yoga. We're taking it slow. And so what we're going to do now is, if I can ask you to take a seat, we'll start from the seated position here. All right, so whatever's comfortable for you at the moment. So if you could cross your legs, that's cool. If you want your legs in front or need the blocks to prop underneath your knees, that's fine. So from here, I'm going to ask you to either take a soft gaze by looking in front of you, dipping your head slightly, or closing your eyes. All right, so don't think about any breath or conditioning your breath at the moment. It's just if I can invite you to go internal, all right, and then sort of notice if there's anything in your body for the next couple of breaths to see whether that portion needs some TLC. With me now, I'm going to ask you to keep breathing as you are now, but we're going to start conditioning our breath a little bit. So you can choose to breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth, or in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in and out through the nose, whichever works for you. For the next 4 breaths, breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Now crack your eyes open slowly and we can return back to a normal breath, your normal breath. So this move there was just called what we call arriving at the mat. So in a typical yoga session, we arrive at the mat to signify that this is our time and this is what we're giving towards. So if there's anything that's been on your mind, is acknowledging that it's there, and you can address that later on because this is your practice. Right, that's the arrival. Right, so from here, we're going to open our hands up, maybe lean a little bit forward, and we're going to breathe in as we scoop the energy up, and we're going to pretend that we're holding a beach ball up, you know, with our hands. So your hands can be up to the sky, right? And then exhaling down as we touch the ground a little bit more. We're going to do this for a couple more. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hit the ground. 2 more, inhale, 2, 3, exhaling, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. This one's a little bit different. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, exhaling. Now we're going to take your arms out to what we call cactus. That's it. So that's it with the shoulders. Inhaling and then exhaling back down. Excellent work, fellas. Right, we're going to do this 3 more times. Inhaling, exhaling, opening up. Right, we're just gently lubricating our shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling. Fantastic work. Inhale. So we could now think, exhaling, as we're doing this, right, is connecting that movement to the breath and letting the breath guide that movement. So you only move as fast as your breath will allow you to. 1 more. All right, now inhaling. We're going to change this up now and we're going to twist. So twist to your left or right, whichever works. Yeah, you follow mirror me. So my bad. Where your hand will grip across your knee. And then from here, fellas, if we can have a look, is if we'll go back and I'll explain a little bit better. So imagine for this next move, we're going to be doing like a seated twist, right? So from here, if you can imagine your sit bones is spiked to the ground and the top of our head, that's where we're pivoting from. So when we grow tall, I'll show you a demonstration. We're going to hands up and we're going to twist. We're going to be twisting in that motion. So we don't need to face the back. We're not birds, right? We don't have big, it's just rotating around. Hand grabs across the knee and then this hand here comes and places some support. So it's all about your range of movement. So you don't need to go fully hard out because this is the start of the practice. All right? So we'll do this several times on each side. Okay, so taking it slowly as we grow. Inhale to grow, and then, yeah, that's it. Don't hold the breath. And so inhale, hands up, perfect. As we exhale, gently rotate around to your left. That's it. 2, 3, inhale. 2, 3, exhale, other side. 2, 3. Ooh, there was a crack there from me. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, inhale, exhale, 2, 3. So we're warming up our spine as well as our shoulders. Inhale, exhale, 2, 3, inhale, exhale, 2, 3. Perfect, guys. Inhale, and then come around to this side. Perfect. I'm just going to move this camera here so it faces me the other way. And how's that, guys? All right. So now we're going to be moving towards warming up our spine a little bit more and building on that. So let's find our way to our knees, our hands and knees, right? However is comfortable for you. So this is what we call tabletop. Right, on all fours. So what we're going to be doing is let's build this up, right, nice and slow. So with our hands, we're going to be having them slightly splayed apart. And what that does is that allows us to be able to feel the ground underneath, and we're grounding. So what we're doing here now is having our hands shoulder width apart. Excellent work. And our hands are underneath our shoulders. Right? That's it. So we're providing support for our shoulders. Then we're going to take our gaze to our knees. So let's look down in between. They're the same width as apart. Yes, and then we could go look further back with our feet as well. So that's right. So Gavin and yeah, Steve, whichever way works for you is you can choose to have your toes tucked or you can be flat. We're going to be working on both of those. So for the moment, what we're going to do now is just do what we call cat-cow. And this is warming up the spine, however that works for you. So I'll give you an example and then we'll do it, okay? So from here, we breathe in and we dip our belly and then we could stick our chest out like we're receiving a medal. And then we could imagine that our tailbone is going to the sky, right? So that's cow. And then the opposite of that is cat, angry cat, where we push our spine and bend our spine and like it's reaching the roof, and we pull in our belly, right? And then tuck our head as the last bit. So one last bit of the demonstration is inhale as we look forward, dip the spine, raise the tailbone. Exhaling as we push the ground away and then tuck our head and now arch our spine. Okay, any questions? From there, right, so don't go overdo it with the back, right, because we're still in the warming up phase. So inhaling, we stick our chest in, that's it, breathe in and then breathe out. That's it, perfect. We're going to do that. Inhale, exhale. And notice where that air goes as well as we breathe in and how that goes in through your breath and what the differences are, whether we do it through our nose or mouth as well. Now I'm going to invite you to bend your elbows slightly as we transition between each one, right? To accentuate that movement, and we're looking at how our hands feel when we're pushing them away from the ground. All right, noticing what there might be in your back. Excellent work there. Excellent work. Fantastic. Cool. Yeah, so with this one there, when you come back up and we bend, and then we push our elbows up so we arch up. That's it. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent work. Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. One more. Great work there, guys. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to start articulating the spine a little bit more. So that's the up, down. So these are the side cat-cows. All right, and then in a yoga lesson, they might say, you might hear, be a bit intuitive with what you might need for today. So we're just moving our body side to side, right? And that's just how, depending on how you're feeling with your back, is how much motion that we can have, right? And then this last one here, let's shake out the hands for a moment. I don't know if you do feel like that's coming a little bit, be a bit much, we could always come back up to this. This is one of the home positions just to be able to shake it out, and we'll be warming up our wrists a little bit more, all right? So I don't want to injure or break anyone. So from here, let's get back down to our hands and knees. All right, so with this one here, these are called the circles, right? So we're going to come around to the left, like imagine a clock, and then breathe out as we come around. So breathe in as we go around, and then breathe out as we're going around. Fantastic. All right, so in, out. One more that way. In, out. Reverse the circles. In, out. In, 2, 3, out. 2, 3, one more. In, out. Fantastic work there, guys. So what we're going to do now is we'll do one slightly, shaking off the hands. All right, so let's warm up our wrists a little bit more. Give the flicking the water, rowing the boat, whichever works for you, shaking the hands. All right, so this next bit here, we've started to warm up the spine a little bit. We're going to be engaging a few other little things now. So are you able to change your hands around? We can bring our hands closer, right? We don't need to have all the weight. So we're just going to give some TLC, tuck the toes, right? Excellent. And it's just rocking backwards and forwards now. So a lot of the time during the day, we're going to do this for several times. We can connect that with the breath. Is we're always grabbing things, right? Especially if you're renovating a house or cooking or whatever, you know. We're always grabbing things, and this is a nice way to be able to stretch out our forearms and then also our hands. You can also, if that works for you as well, change your hands around. We're just warming up and giving some hands and wrists some TLC, as well as our toes, right? So now we can come back here to our feet, grab our hands normally, and then tuck our toes, and we're doing what we call a toe stretch at the moment. So can you feel that on your toes? Yes? All right, so a lot of the time we're standing up, or when we're sitting down, and we place so much emphasis on our feet that we sometimes forget and be a little bit complacent when we don't get the chance to be able to do that, right? So, all right, so we're going to move forward to the mat a little bit more, crawl forward a little bit. All right, let's still do some balancing stuff here. All right, so this one is what we call bird dog. So we're going to start off now. I'll give the demonstration, right? Or balancing table. So inhale to set and exhaling. And then balancing on each here. Now, the modification for this, if that's not for you at the moment, is just to use your legs. So if you could use your legs or your arm, whichever works best for you. So if you're reaching out with the hand or reaching out with the leg, right? With the leg, what we're trying to do is we're flexing the foot like this. You see me? So toes pointing out, and we're pushing away the ground. So then we're setting a nice base for our table. Same with our hands, right? Is just pushing away, and you'll be able to feel that with your hands. All right, so let's shake out for a moment. So from here, inhale to set, exhale. That's it. 2, 3, inhale, exhale. Now we're connecting up our breath to our movements. Inhale, out, and exhaling, down. Right side, inhaling, excellent work, exhale. Left side. See what you do when we breathe out on the next one. See what happens to our belly if we try and suck our belly up towards our spine. All right, so our hands are out a little bit more, a little bit wider. Yes, that's it. So we're checking our position. Right, so inhale. All right, reach out with your hand. Perfect. And then pull your belly into your spine. Right, inhale. That's it. Balancing table. Right, one more time on each side. Fantastic work. And one more. We're doing our core work here. All right, this next move is called gate pose. Right, so we're going to come into home. Let's shake it out. We could have a quick drink as well, guys. This will be the last one before we move on to our standing practice as well. How's that pace for you fellas? Okay? Yeah, excellent. No worries. This is called gate pose. This is the next one. So from here, our tabletop, what we're going to do now is having a look down, hands underneath shoulders, shoulders underneath hands. Grab your left foot and then place it out 90 degrees like this. So the blade of our foot is parallel with the mat. Fantastic. Now we're going to reach our hands forward 45 degrees, a little bit. That's it. Fantastic. And from here we're going to breathe in, lean forward a bit, and then exhale, push our tailbone back like we're going to sit on our heel. Perfect. Inhale. So from gate pose, what we're doing is we're stretching the insides of our inside leg or outstretched leg. Right, giving the hips and the inner thighs some love as well, because we do store a lot of stress in that sort of midsection. One more time. Back to normal and tabletop. Let's shake it out, shake the wrists out. How's the knees? Okay? Could always also, if you have some sore knees, is place another blanket underneath. That's absolutely cool, yeah? Yep. It's all about comfort. Alrighty guys, let's set up. This one here. This will be the last one before we move to our standing practice. So right leg out now. Perfect. Okay. So what we're imagining now is at the moment we're grounding on our hands and then grounding in that leg where they're our spots now. Let's reach forward 45 degrees and inhale to set. You can shift your weight forward a bit and like we're setting back, right? So should get that sense of that inside of your inner thigh of the outstretched leg is, as we push out, getting a bit of a stretch as we do this. Last one. Perfect. Let's meet back at tabletop, where now I'm going to give you an example. If you want to stretch that back out, we're moving to our feet. I like that. Well, let's do that as ab slides for the next one. All right, new move. Awesome. All right, so from here, this is where we're going. We're moving into downward dog. So from here, hands splayed our knees, toes are tucked, right? Going to lift our knees up a little bit, and then we're going to push away with our hands, push your butt back, right? We're coming into downward dog, right? But the thing is, we don't need to be fully outstretched like that. Yeah, you can be, but you can bend your knees as well. So if that works for you, right? Belly to thighs, and our gaze is at our toes, right? And we're pushing the ground away, downward facing dog. Perfect. Excellent work. And then, so from here, we breathe in, out, and then we breathe in, and we're going to take lots of little steps up now, pushing away with our hands, lots of little steps, as many as you need, where our hands, or you could walk your hands back too. Perfect. Excellent work. To meet our hands. Alrighty, fellas. All right, so let's go from here. We'll stand up, and that's coming. We're moving to the standing position now. All right. So we're going to come up to the front of the mat. All right. Excellent work. So that was downward facing dog, and we're moving up now, coming into our standing practice where we're going to be building a little bit more heat from warming up the back. This is what we call sun salutation A. We'll guide you through it, and we'll also find some modifications. So if you've got the blocks there that are near you, you may need them, or you might need to find them. So can I ask at the moment, are you okay with doing a push-up?
Yeah. Not really.
Okay, so we'll do some modifications for that, and I will show you both. Okay? All right, so then that way we've got so we might even have the blocks, but that's okay. So from here, let's look at our feet. And this is all about building a good base, right? So like a building that you might be working on, it always starts with good foundations. So our feet are shoulder width apart, our toes are facing the front. So from here, I just want you to lift your toes and then put them back down and spread them slightly, like with our hands, right? So now we're opening up our toes and grounding and feeling the weight on all four corners of the feet. Now we're building this up now. Hands could be by the sides or slightly out, whatever works better for you, and your shoulders sitting straight, right? And we're imagining then now, we're imagining our heels again, and then the top of the crown of our head spiking through, right? So from here, that when we inhale to grow, that's where we're looking at, right? So we're pushing the ground away as well as reaching up with our head, growing tall, right? Sticking our chest out like we're receiving a medal, right? Inhaling, our hands can come up or straight up, whichever works best for you. And you could also stop it short there, so you don't need to be right above your head. Whatever works best for you, like we're holding a beach ball again. Inhale, and then from here we exhale, we can bend our knees, hinging at the hips. You can bend your knees slightly, and we're going to try and touch the ground. So here, if you can't quite touch the ground, it's also cool to use some blocks as well to raise you up. That's it. Use a block for it, and that raises the floor. Right, I'm always a big fan of making sure that, that this is achievable. So from here, inhaling, like a bookshelf, let's place our hands on our wrists, right, and we're flattening our back and we're keeping our head straight, looking down. Right, this is what we call halfway lift. So just imagine a bookshelf. Right there, right, cool, excellent, fantastic work. Exhaling now, hands meet mat or blocks, and we're going to take one leg down. The other leg down, back to all fours, and then from here, okay, so with this one here, we can be in push-up position. So this is where we would be moving to. From here, if we're not going down, there's two different ways about this. So the first one, I'll show you the first one. From here, the first time we'll do this is knees, chest, chin, and then we untuck our toes. The second way, right? If we're here from this position, are you okay to go from push-up? So from push-up, instead of doing a push-up, we go knees and then cow, right? So cow, but without dumping too much. So we're just shifting our weight forward a bit. So if you want to move the blocks back, whichever way works best. So, yeah. So you don't want to be reaching out too far. I don't want your back to be. So we're just then shifting our weight forward when we put our yes. Okay. So we're not dumping on that lower back. Okay. And then from here, from the push-up position. All right. So let's try that. So from push-up position for both of our modifications, we're going to inhale to set. We can push our weight forward a little bit, and then down knees, chest, chin, or yes. That's it. And then coming back, let's push back away from our hands to start off with now into what we call child's pose. Fantastic work. Does it hurt the shoulders a little bit? Okay, no, that's okay. Come back up from that. From there, if that's hurting the shoulders a little bit, let's just put the forearms down. That's it. And then sort of yes. But you don't need that's it. Is that better? All right. So from there, now we're going to go back to our toes, tuck the toes, and then push back up to downward facing dog. Fantastic work. Bending the knees. All right, looking at the hands. Oh, sorry, at the feet, my bad. All right, and then inhaling to take lots of little steps like we did before. If it works for you, you can actually walk your hands back as well as your feet forward, whichever works for you today. And we're going to meet in this forward fold position here. All right, so bend your knees. Okay, fantastic. All right, and then inhaling, halfway lift. Okay, our bookshelf again. Exhaling back down, and then inhaling all the way up. Straightening up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Looking at the hands, and then down the center line. Whew, how was that? Okay, so that was the explanation. So that's what we call sun salutations. We'll go through again so that a couple more times with that. So then that way we can build on that foundation. All right, so even if that's all we get to today, that's a core foundation move of warming up the spine. So just points to note when we come down. So we'll do knees, chest, chin again with you, and then with you it'll be that forward. And how was that on the back?
I like that.
Yep.
It was right for me.
Yes, perfect. All right, so and then for our listeners at home as well, we've been working on some of these mods. So if that works for you, please, that's what the move is for you. So when we do it in the future, you know what your sun salutation is. And then in some other lessons, they might say, take your flow. That's what it is. Yep. But we'll be doing this many more times over the next few weeks. So you don't need to memorize it now. I will guide you through it. So let's start again now at mountain pose, right? So coming forward a little bit more on the mat. Okay, looking at our feet, lifting the toes, placing them down. Shoulders are back, hands by our sides. Looking slightly down, imagining the crown of our head is reaching for the sky. So from here, inhaling in, looking at our hands, we're holding that ball of energy or holding up the block, and we're exhaling, bending the knees, hinging at the hips, down to the blocks or to the hands so we could bend. And then the last thing to release is our neck. Perfect work there. So from here is inhaling into our bookshelf. Excellent. Exhaling as we come down to meet the blocks and then coming into plank or push-up position, guys. Fantastic work, however you feel to get there. So from here, when we breathe in, we shift our weight forward. So it's shift our weight forward and then breathe out, knees, chest, chin, or our modification. Perfect. And then breathe in as we push back into child's pose. Right, that's it, pushing the tailbone back, forearms down if that works for you. You could even put your head down as well. Right, that's grounding on the mat. Right, and then tuck the toes. Right, pushing up on our all fours again, coming up into downward facing dog. Pushing the tailbone back, bending the feet, bending the knees, sorry. Oh my God, I've got to get my anatomy right. All right, here we go. And then breathing in as we take lots of little steps. Excellent work, fellas. And then from here, right, inhale, bookshelf, halfway lift, exhaling back down, and then inhaling, and then down. Fantastic work. So just grab a drink, fellas, and then so I'll just show you something as well with that. So from here when we're walking up, so you see it while you're taking that break. So we've done our low push-up, or from here. When we push back, this is just starting off so we can build on it and build our strength. We're coming into child's pose, we push that back, or we could, that's fantastic work. Now you can, it's actually all right because that's part of grounding. When you're down here, to put your head on the ground, that's totally fine because that's all part of grounding to the practice, all right? And then from there, we're coming up, and then we can push up, back, and then walk up. So you can choose to walk your hands back as well, as long as we meet here. So that's here. And then so when I say you can release your head, the last thing to release is your head once we're set in a nice position, and that way you're not dumping on your neck. So you just let it go, and you can be nice and loose when we come up. Then we can bring the head back up. Yeah. So great work there, fellas, at the moment. So we'll do this one more time, and then we'll proceed with our standing practice. Any questions? Okay. So from here, mountain pose, feet, toes, hands. We're going to inhale to grow tall, spike through. Next one, hands up. Inhaling, hands up, reaching for the sky, and exhaling, hinging from the hips. We can also bend our knees, belly to thighs, hands to blocks or down. Last thing to release is the head. This is what we call forward fold. Inhaling, and then growing again to our bookshelf, halfway lift. Right. Exhaling as we come down now to our modified plank pose or our push-up position. Right, excellent work. So from here, inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale now, knees, chest, chin, or modified cow. Heads down, right, and then inhale, yes, excellent. And then we push back to child's pose. Let's take 2 breaths here. Child's pose is also a great way, if you don't want to do what they call a vinyasa or that part, they're taking a flow, to be able just to reset. This is one of the home positions, right? And then once everyone's meeting again in downward dog, we can take our hands, come to all fours, tuck our toes, lift the knees, push our tailbone back and up, then take our gaze to our toes. Breathe in as we take lots of little steps again to our toes. Breathe in, halfway lift, bookshelf. Exhaling. So from this position here, when we're bent with our bent knees and belly on chest, is that we're imagining, right, if I may for a moment, is if you imagine trying to push your tailbone up a little bit more and straighten your legs, we're really stretching the back of the legs here, right? And our head can be nice and loose like this, all right? And then inhaling all the way up to the top. And down, loosening it off. Fantastic work. Sun salutations A, right? So there's many versions of it, but that's the version there. And that's building some heat a little bit more. So we're going to take this last bit, and I'm going to introduce you to part of our standing practice today before we're back on the mat to round off. Okay, this is going to be our warrior standing series. So from here, I'll give a demonstration. All right, so from here, coming into warrior 2. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Double leg fold here. So from there, breathing in, we're going to set and looking over. So it's like we're at right dress. We're doing the right dress, when we're in thing, and that is warrior 2. So, and then coming back. Okay, so I will talk you through it, guys. So from here, let's come up to the top edge of the mat. And then for the purposes of this one here, so you can see me, it'll be the right leg that moves back into that wide-legged stance, okay? So from here, grow tall, and then exhaling as we step towards the long edge of the mat. So if we look at our feet now, this is all in the sitting. and you guys are going to be turning your left foot towards the short edge in a moment. So from here, right, let's do our base again. So we're pushing away on the outside of our feet. Fantastic work, yes. So you almost kind of like, you know, it might feel like a pigeon toed, but from here, what we call it is micro bending the knees. So put a slight bend in your knees, right, so then that we're not locking out our knees, right? So with all these positions, especially when we're in our standing, there's no requirement to lock it out and put any additional pressure on the knees, okay? So we're keeping a micro bend in, we're growing tall here, and then inhaling, grow tall, exhale, we're going to rotate our left foot towards the short edge of the mat. So let's have a look down now. Right, so this one here is micro bend, but we're pushing back against the blade, and we've rotated our hips to the outside. Hello, how are you? Nev's not here yet. No, he'll be at the centre. Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, cool. So from here, what we're doing is we're rotating, and you can shorten your stance if that's feeling uncomfortable at the moment. So we're bending the knee, so having a look at it, it's not going past our toe, right? And we're pushing back on here. So that's, and then if we have a look, yes. So your chest is facing the long edge of the mat, and then the last thing to do is hands, palms down, right? Now look over at your fingers. Fantastic work there. This is the nice strong stance, as if we're having a look now, is imagining our hips going out. Fantastic. Perfect. All right, so then inhaling, hands back down, and exhale. Come back down to this side. Fantastic work. All right, so what I'm going to do now is on this side, so let's change around so that you come back towards me, is we'll start off facing that edge of the mat. Yep, so you can see me in the mirror. Oh, the mirror's paying dividends already. So from here, we're going to be moving the other foot, right? So you're going to be moving your left foot, my right. So inhaling to set, and exhaling to wide-legged stance, right? Fantastic work. Micro bend in the knees. Perfect. Standing up and growing tall. So what I find with this as well, guys, is that if you rotate your hands out a little bit, that actually automatically sets your shoulders without pulling them back. So you don't need to pull up your shoulders. Just rotate. That's it. Right. Fantastic work. Right. And then so from there, we grow tall and we exhale. Rotate the left foot, other foot, other foot, other foot, other foot. Yep. Was that, yeah, was that the different foot to last time? Was that the same foot? Same foot. Same foot, okay, so my bad, the other way. My bad, the other left foot, Andy. All right, so from here, when you look at yourself in the mirror, right, is we're pushing back on that back foot, on the back blade. We're bending our front foot, but we look over our toes and our knees not going past it. And then from there, we just shift our body so it's facing the long edge of the mat to your left slot. There we go. All right, so that's that portion there. All right, we're taking off now and then looking over the shoulder to the bent knee. That's right. So now we're in Warrior Two pose. So inhale, exhaling, rotating back around as we rotate our foot. Hands come back down and then to the short edge of the mat. Fantastic work there, guys. Perfect. Let's shake that off. All right, so the Standing Warrior series, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Okay, so there's a few things, that's why we're breaking it down and not going through it fast, because it's all about connecting. And you may feel that, you may feel that, oh, geez, I'm opening up my hips. And that's what that hip is when we're rotating around.
I felt a lot when we were at like that.
Yes.
What's the inside muscles called?
The inside, sorry, you got me. The inner thigh. The inner thigh. I like to keep. I will find out for you. I apologise. Yeah, it's eluding my head, but I like to.
But the inner thigh.
It is the inner thigh.
Yeah, the inner thighs were really working for me.
Yes, fantastic, and you'll notice that over the weeks we're going to be opening up the hips, and because we store a lot of stress in there and emotion. So let's do this one more time each side before we come down to the ground. So let's come up to this side of the mat, guys. Okay, looking down at our toes again, we're always setting. Slight micro bend in the knees, going tall. Inhale, set, exhaling, rotate, double width apart. Now we're in wide-legged stance, slight bend, a slight micro bend in the knees, and then we can even choose to have our hands out from here. So this time it's going to be your left foot that rotates. So inhale to grow tall. Exhaling as we rotate that foot. That's the only thing that needs to move. And then our knee comes around. So you may feel that our hips are opening up a little bit more now. Now bend that knee a little bit more. Right, so from here we're pushing against this blade of the foot on the back blade, and we're opening up the knee. If you have a look down, fantastic work. And then from there, because our body wants to move back around here, right, but we can set. So from here, wings of the bird, and then looking to your left, over the shoulder, right dress. There we go. Good work, those men there. All right, fantastic. All right, so we've done the Commodore's done his address now. He's inhaling, we're coming back down, and exhale, come to the front of the mate. Shake that out. Fantastic work. So the beauty about these things here is that we are taking those movements a bit slower, but then you'll feel when we're actually pivoting, it's working on your sense of balance as well as locking in those, opening up the muscles. So let's start off at the other side of the mat, facing the mirror. You'll be moving your left foot back this way this time, guys. So inhale, set, exhale, rotate around, wide-legged forward fold. We'll start at the wide-legged forward fold, so both feet are facing yes. So from here we set again, and then exhaling, we rotate the foot. Now we're rotating that knee, fantastic work, and then we're sort of pushing against both feet, right? So what you should have a sense of is feeling equal weight in both feet. And then from here, our body can then face the long edge of the mat. Inhale, exhale as we look to our front hand. Perfect. Let's do 2 breaths here. One more. So inhaling, let's come back now, right, putting the wings away, and exhaling, coming to the front of the mat, shaking it out. Fantastic work there, fellas. We're going to be, this doesn't need to look neat, so you can make your way down now. Oh, there we go. All right. So from here, you may want, I'm going to start off with this. Right, let's grab one block. So from here, we're going to make our way to our back. Slowly, 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 whatever's comfortable for you. So from here, I'm going to ask you to then bend the knees, right, feet shoulder width apart, palms down. All right, we're feeling the ground. So from here, our shoulders should be nice, is feeling for that ground. Our head will be back, right? So you don't need to look at me for the moment. So you're just sort of feeling it while I describe it. Right, shoulders are down on the ground. Our feet are flat, right? You can wiggle your toes and lift them up. And our knees are sort of still far apart. And if we have a look at our knees, you might be able to put your block there, and that's sort of that distance where it might be. So if you test that, right, I could place that knee there. Right, so that's what we're imagining what we're doing, okay? We can move now, remove the block, and from here, we're going to inhale, and we're going to lift up our tailbone a little bit, and then place the block underneath our sacrum, or where the tailbone is, like this. Fantastic, there we go, bang. That's the relief. Okay, so this is what we call supported bridge, okay? So from here, we're actually just, we're cooling down our back now. But we could do a couple of little things, what we call leg slides. So if I describe it first, what we're going to be doing is if you sort of tilt your heads to your right, you might be able to see me, right? Is what we're going to be doing is lifting the leg and then pulling the toes back. That's it, and then down, okay? In the supported bridge position. So we're going to do that each side, yes, perfectly. So with me, right? So inhale, and then exhaling as we go down. Inhale, and then exhaling with the other foot. Inhaling, foot down, exhaling, other foot up. Pull your toes back towards your head. Fantastic. Inhale, foot down, right leg. One more each side, fellas. Inhaling, Inhale, right foot. Inhaling. Okay, perfect. And then meet me with both feet down. Fantastic. And now we're going to slightly lift our tailbone and remove the block and see how that feels on the lower back. From here, we're going to be doing what we call windshield wipers, just to give the sacrum and lower back a little bit of loving as well. So this is what it looks like. So basically from here is we're just going to be windshield wipering our feet, and your knees don't actually need to touch the ground. Right, so what we're doing is you can use your hands to support, so you can put them out as wide as you need, and we're going to windshield wiper. That's it. So we're just massaging the lower back, and it also gives me a gauge of where you guys are at in terms of feeling the stretch, right? So you can do it as slow as fast as you need. So if we start off from the start, all right, so we're waving it there. So let's start off in neutral position, and then we'll just do a couple of guided ones where we link our breath up to the movement. So starting with moving the knees to the left, sorry. That's where we're going to put it. So we're going to set, breath in, and we're going to exhale to the left. Let's breathe in twice now, full breaths, while our knees are to the left, and see where the breath goes. You may notice that your rib cage opens up, where the stretch is. And then breathe in to bring your knees back up to neutral, and then out to the left, to the right hand side. That's it, perfect. Right, let's do 2 full breaths here. And then breathe in, knees come up again. Fantastic work. And now that is all the work that you're going to be doing today. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to, if it feels comfortable for you, you can actually have your feet wide and bring them together as final resting pose. Or I'm going to invite you to come into what they call resting pose or corpse pose, where you're lying down. You can keep your legs out, or you can have your knees out like that, whichever works and is more comfortable for you today. Your palms could be out, and we're just going to close down our eyes now. Right, there's no more work to be done. And this is what we call final resting pose here. I'm going to guide you through a couple of breaths while we're here, and then we'll do a minute or so in here to be able to see where our body is, and we can do a bit of a scan to see where we are. So from here in final resting pose, I'm going to ask you to imagine the shape of a triangle, where we breathe in on the up and we breathe out on the down, and then at the bottom of the base of the triangle is where we hold our breath. Right, everything's done in 3s, so we're going to do 9 of these. We're going to count in 3s. All right, so inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Now do the last 3 in your own time. Now you can just do an internal body scan for the next few rounds of breath. No need to shape it. Right, all the work's done. Feel yourself getting heavier with each breath. Right, maybe feel the grounding of your shoulders on the ground. your feet on the ground, scanning to see if something's feeling better than what it was at the start, something that we could maybe work on next time. Come into our bodies now by slowly moving your fingers and wiggling your toes. All right, keeping the eyes closed. I invite you to perhaps even raise your hands overhead and take a full body stretch. Let's point the toes as we take a breath in. And let go. One more time. Now lifting your knees up and giving yourself a hug. All right, give yourself a hug. That's it. All right, for all the work that you've done today, now rolling to your preferred side. You can let go of the knees, support yourself with your hand, right? So this is what we call the fetal position. You can stay there, or we could all meet in seated pose. All right, fantastic work. Let's just jiggle it out, last bits. All right, guys, from here, I'm going to ask you to close down your eyes one more time. We'll take a soft gaze. All right. Breathe out. Let it go. 2 more times. Breathe in. Big breath. Let it go. Last time. Breathe in. Let it go. Now bring your hands together in what we call prayer. All right, hands up. Now we can bring our thumbs to our forehead, in between the eyes, close down the eyes. All right. May we honour what we think today. All right. Bring our hands to our lips. May we honour what we say internally and externally, especially the internal dialogue that we have on ourselves. We've got to be kind and acknowledge that sometimes we might have thoughts that are positive and also negative. You can just acknowledge that thought and then also let it go. Now bring our hands down to our heart space or our chest. All right, may we honour what's in our heart. Thank you so much for joining me in today's practice and for allowing me to guide you through today. Namaste. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions after I've pressed stop on the recording, please let me know. And if you've got any insights as well, we'll be hanging out for a little bit and yeah, we can have a chat. Okay, guys, so next time they'll see you for the playback. If you do have any insights, please let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you on some of the insights or some modifications that you might need. So until then, I'll see you next time.